My name is Annie Mai. I'm the founder of Studying.com. We're an education company about to grow to $1 million per year. I have nothing to sell you. I'm just here on YouTube to document my journey from $0 to $1 million, to 10 million, to 100 million, to $1 billion. And I just want to go ahead and share you guys all the amazing things I learned throughout this journey. And in this video, we'll be talking about power. I've sort of recently read the book 48 Laws of Power, and the term power is pretty interesting. I'm a bit scared that this video may come off as evil because I'm a pretty nice, naive, down-to-earth person. So just talking about power just makes me feel weird. But learning these things, I'm able to spot the type of people that are trying these power moves on me, and it's really powerful because I know and I can see what they're doing and I can avoid it. And that's sort of why I want to go ahead and give you guys a few tips and pointers, and let's just talk about power. So power, one thing you want to do is you want to stay back, keep calm, and let others be frustrated by the traps you lay for them. I don't really lay traps for people, but there's, like I can see that happening where you're just constantly chasing someone's tail end, and then you're constantly falling into traps, since I'm never trying to follow anyone's tails end. Next is play for the long-term power rather than the quick victory. That's pretty important. Next is get others to react to your moves. Keep your opponent and those around you on defensive, and don't let others come to you. Very important. Like, I'm not ever reacting to other people's moves. I'm never getting into, say, NFTs because everyone else is getting into NFTs. I'm doing things and people are reacting to me. Very important. I'm innovating the education space and other people are going to react to my move. Next is you want to conserve your power. Always look for the indirect route. Choose your battles carefully. I just don't battle people. I don't battle people in general. Don't bother with a demonstration. Save your energy and walk away. Super important. Like, you never want to try to prove to someone that you're successful. Like, I only hang out with people who see my success and value it, know who I am as a person and my level of growth and experience. And the people who don't, I don't even bother to show them. I just don't hang out with them. And I save a lot of energy. I used to, but it used to be draining. Next is mediocrity. Chasing here and there, trying to solve problems, trying to defeat enemies. You'll never be in control. That's sort of what the average person does. They're chasing a bunch of different shiny objects. They're following what everyone else does. They're trying to win and defeat enemies, but that's what the average person does. You don't want to be the average person. This is pretty crazy. Total annihilation. So negotiation is the insidious viper that will eat away at your victory. Give your enemies nothing to negotiate, no hope, no room to maneuver. They're crushed, and that's that. I don't know if I really believe in this because, one, I don't battle people, but when I don't battle people, it's always turned out pretty good where, like, later down the road, things work out between us and something mutually beneficial pops up. But if I totally annihilated them, that might have not happened. So I agree and disagree with this point from 48 Laws of Power. This I do agree with. Be unpredictable. Pablo Picasso worked with an art dealer, Paul Rosenberg. One day, for no reason at all, he told the man he would no longer give him any work to sell. Rosenberg then spent the next 48 hours trying to figure out why. Was I reserving things for some other dealer? In 2 days, he'd come back, nerves jangled, anxious, saying, "After all, dear friend, you wouldn't turn me down if I offered this much, name a substantially higher figure, for those paintings rather than the price I've been accustomed to paying you, would you?" When you're unpredictable, people get nervous. Next is make yourself more accessible. Seek out old allies and make new ones. Force yourself into more different circles. This is a trick that powerful people use for centuries. Always on the move, mix and mingle in rooms of the palace. Never sit in or settling in one place. No hunter can fix his aim on such a swift moving creature. So I'm always trying to keep in contact with people who are amazing people and I really value them as a person. I'm always checking in and seeing how I can provide them more value. Now, the party thing, that's pretty interesting. Like, it makes sense. When you're sort of in this flow, you're then talking to everyone, then you get to know everyone, and all of a sudden you do become this swift moving creature that no one can target. And that's something I need to work on. Next is Alcibiades' tactic. I think this is a person. Put yourself in the middle between competing powers. Lure one side with the promise of help. The other side, that's always wanting to outdo his enemy, will pursue you as well. As each side views for your attention, you'll immediately seen as a person of great influence and desirability. More power will accrue to you than if you've rashly committed to one side. Next is bold moods. People who have a sixth sense for weakness of others. People can just feel weakness. If in the first encounter you show your willingness to compromise, back down and retreat, you bring out the lion in people even if they're not even necessarily bloodthirsty. Which is weird because I've always just been myself on first impressions. I've always been egoless. I haven't tried to compete. I don't try to be powerful, and people do have that sixth sense for weakness, and people do take advantage of it, and first impressions do stick. It's a natural filter because by doing that, I've sort of automatically bounced away the people who aren't a right fit, but I've really strongly glued with the people who are a right fit as a result. Next is you don't want to be seen as a person who goes on the defensive quickly, who's willing to negotiate and be amendable. You'll be pushed around. That's pretty true. Like the moment you say yes to something, you're gonna be pushed around. Stick to your booked time. Don't move things early. That's a lesson I need to learn. I shouldn't do meetings early. Different type of meetings. If it's employee meetings, that's a different story because I want to wrap up the day early. But you don't want to move your schedule around for people because it always never works out. Next is on the first encounter, enter action with boldness. I guess this makes sense. This will make you seem larger and more powerful than you are. If it comes suddenly, it inspires much more fear. Establish precedents by this, where people will be on the defensive on every move. Yeah, that's something I don't do too much. As I'm growing, I'm learning that just being yourself is even more powerful, and being yourself to attract the best type of people is going to be more powerful than being bold and trying to attract the mediocre. Next is go one step further. John D. Rockefeller set out to create an oil monopoly. He tried to buy up the smaller oil companies, but they figured out what he was doing and they fought back, or they would have fought back. So instead, he started secretly buying up the railroad companies that transported the oils, altering the playing field, so that the only options the small oil producers had were the ones he gave them. Genius, so smart, that's like crazy. And that's sort of why I'm creating an education company. I don't want to go through Facebook, I don't want to go through Instagram, YouTube. Like I want to have my own education company with my own clients, and I can just give value directly to my customers and not have to deal with any other platforms. Next is it's a numbers game. The wider your support base, the stronger your power. Constantly win over more allies on all levels. Time will inevitably come when you would need them. Pretty interesting. Right now I've been just focusing on people who provide value. There are cool people that I hang out with where I just don't learn anything at all, or I learn very little compared to what I can output. Those I sort of save for like the podcast. The podcast's a great place where I can just bring on friends to just chat and hang out and just kick it. And I then can save all my energy for the people who would, a lot of successful people, they don't want to be on the internet. They don't want to be a part of a podcast. So I save all my energy for people like that, and I keep following up with them and see how I can add value. Hey, I remember that you wanted a virtual assistant. My recruiter's free. Let me go ahead and recruit you some virtual assistants. Definitely a numbers game. Build up your sort of Rolodex, but quality over quantity for sure. That's my thought at least. When I went down the volume route, it was really I met like a bunch of people, but it was just like really like washy. Like quality beats quantity. So I highly recommend that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of video on Tower. Drop a comment below, follow me on Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like this video. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. If you want to learn about what we do, just go to stunning.com. Link is in the description below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with nothing but more value. Peace.